Item 12D, Progress Report on the celebration of the 40th anniversary of the Convention. And I invite you to consider document WHC 12/36.com/12D for this item. I also would like to invite Madam Vyzucic Lugacy to briefly present this document. Madam, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, and good afternoon, dear delegates. The 40th anniversary year was launched by the UNESCO Director General on 7th November 2011 at the 18th General Assembly of States Parties to the Convention. On the same date, a dedicated website was launched providing information on the theme of the anniversary, World Heritage and Sustainable Development, the role of local communities. Many of you will remember the launch ceremony of the anniversary year, which took place on 30th January at UNESCO headquarters, in the presence of the Director General and with a memorable concert by UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador and musician Herbie Hancock. The launch received wide attention by the press and audiovisual media. As we have seen throughout the discussions at this committee, the theme of the anniversary is increasingly relevant for World Heritage sites, as well as for World Heritage processes, improving social and economic conditions of local communities living at World Heritage sites while ensuring the preservation of their outstanding universal value is a challenge that we hope will benefit from the attention given to this issue throughout 2012. The decision to celebrate the anniversary throughout the regions of the world, rather than limiting the celebrations to UNESCO headquarters or at one single event, has, in our opinion, proven a success. The committee's appeal last year, inviting states parties to celebrate the anniversary and promote the convention, has been widely followed. Since the launch of the year, the Center has had numerous and substantial communications with states parties who have provided us with good examples related to the theme. These examples have been promoted through our website, in the special 40th anniversary brochure, and will continue to be used in our publications. The Center has until now been informed about activities held in over 40 countries, and the list is constantly growing. The working document was issued end April, so it does not reflect a number of recent events organized by countries. A full list of these events is available and is regularly updated on our website. And we are happy that several countries have also created their own dedicated websites for the anniversary. The Center created, as you know, a specific 40th anniversary logo in order to ensure increased visibility and awareness of the anniversary year. This logo was well appreciated by states parties, as we have received and continue receiving a large number of requests for its use. As we have seen these days, our host country has been very creative in using the logo, and the young volunteers here seem to be very happy as 40th anniversary models. While unfortunately no budget was available to assist the different activities throughout the regions, the Center has developed a series of communication components to promote the anniversary and to assist states parties in their celebratory activities. I mentioned already the dedicated web pages and the special brochure, as well as the commemorative pins that we have produced. And this material has been used by a number of countries who have translated the anniversary brochure and the World Heritage Map into their national languages and are disseminating these through their own channels. We are very grateful for the assistance of the Japanese Funds in Trust, which has provided substantial and indispensable financial means for this year's activities. Aside from the special brochure, the Japanese Funds in Trust is supporting the preparation of a 200-page publication in English and French. A number of countries present here have submitted case studies highlighting sustainable development at their sites, which will feature in this publication. I use this opportunity to thank them for their collaboration. The publication will be co-published with Cambridge University Press, and it will be commercialized. And we will launch it at the closing event of the anniversary year in Kyoto. The 40th anniversary is also attracting wide attention in the media, and to quote just a few examples, the International Herald Tribune, Le Figaro, Japan Times, Financial Times, the New York Times, The Economist, Asahi Shimbun, Correio Brasiliense, Geo Magazine, and others. A number of countries has broadcast TV programs dedicated to World Heritage, and numerous interviews were conducted with the UNESCO Director General and other UNESCO officials. The Director General's message, as well as other special messages, are available on our website. And in the United States, a 40th anniversary video and press statement by Secretary of State Hillary Clinton was released in March this year. The advisory bodies also are participating in the celebrations through a number of activities. At the IUCN World Conservation Congress, to be held in September this year in Jeju in Korea, a number of workshops will deal with World Heritage issues, while the outcomes of the workshops will feed into a resolution to be adopted on strengthening the Convention. ICOMOS General Assembly, held in November 2011, adopted the Paris Declaration on Heritage as a Driver of Development, which is a theme closely related to the 40th anniversary focus. ICOMOS also dedicated their Monuments and Sites Day 2012 to World Heritage. A number of World Heritage Center partners have actively collaborated in the anniversary activities, and to quote just a few, Panasonic, who has organized special exhibitions, ensured programs on World Heritage shown on National Geographic TV, and is carrying out an awareness-raising campaign in particular for young people. The Smithsonian Institution, with whom we are preparing a joint virtual exhibit and website highlighting communities' involvement, to be launched very soon this month. NHK, the Japan Broadcasting Corporation, is continuing to provide short videos for our website with the aim to develop an online image archive on tangible and intangible heritage. TBS, the Tokyo Broadcasting Channel, continues to showcase World Heritage. You have probably all seen and admired the excellent quality of their films, which have been shown in the lobby these days. And this year, TBS has also provided the center with 50 short films on World Heritage for use on our website and in our communication material. History Channel in the US has produced a number of public service announcements, and notably a short, very inspiring film on World Heritage with brief statements in a dozen of different languages, which you can watch on our website. So more details on these and many other partnerships and collaborations can be found on our website. The 35th session of the committee requested us to work with the advisory bodies to develop a one-off initiative for recognizing and rewarding best practice. The Center therefore invited in December 2011 states parties to propose World Heritage sites that they regard as examples of successful and sustainable management. A total number of 28 submissions has been received, 8 from natural sites and 20 from cultural sites. By region, we have 2 from Africa, 1 from Arab states, 8 from Asia and Pacific, 11 from Europe and North America, and 6 from Latin America and the Caribbean region. A selection committee has been established and is composed of experts proposed by the regional groups, representatives of the advisory bodies, and the World Heritage Center. It will examine the submissions and select those entries that best demonstrate successful and sustainable management. This process will be finalized next September. The selected property or properties will be presented with a certificate of recognition at the closing event of the 40th anniversary in Kyoto. And the selected best practices will be shared through the Center's website and will be widely promoted through our communication materials. This first experience should enable the committee and the World Heritage community, as well as the Secretariat, to envisage continuing such recognitions, as this could be a valuable incentive and encouragement for improving management of World Heritage sites. As the 35th Committee had requested the Center to seek extra budgetary funding for this activity, I wish to point out that we were able to carry this out thanks to the partnership with Panasonic. Initial steps were also made towards the establishment of a site management network with the goal to facilitate exchange and sharing of information on best practices. While existing networks should continue to be used, reflections are ongoing about setting up a new management network, which would need to have a clear added value. The creation of a new network would, of course, have financial implications, as it will need hosting, development, and maintenance. Funds for continuing this initiative would need to be identified. And last but not least, to conclude the 40th anniversary year, the government of Japan and the World Heritage Center are co-organizing the final event in Kyoto on 6 to 8 November this year. This is made possible thanks to the generous contribution of the host government, both as direct organizer as well as through the Japanese Funds in Trust financial allocation to the center. The Kyoto event will present this year's activities and conclusions drawn from the regional and thematic events. The agenda will include a series of panel discussions, which will focus on the role of communities in relation to sustainable social and economic development, sustainable tourism, disaster prevention, and international cooperation. A youth program is also scheduled, and it will precede the main event. Approximately 600 participants from around the world are expected to attend this final anniversary event in Kyoto. And finally, we would like to invite countries who have organized events during this year to send us brief reports on the outcomes which could feed into the final Kyoto document and which will also be featured on our website. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. I give the floor to Japan. Please, floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm very much pleased to announce the closing event of 40th anniversary of the convention, which will be held in Kyoto this November. The year 2012 marks the 40th anniversary of the adoption of the World Heritage Convention, and coincidentally, this year we celebrate the 20th anniversary of Japan's accession to the convention as well. Since its joining, Japan has been working for the proper implementation of the convention, as well as contributing to international cooperation in the field of heritage protection through our Funds in Trust. Madam Chair, as part of its efforts, Japan will host the closing event of anniversary with cooperation with World Heritage Center as co-organizer in Kyoto from 6th to 8th November this year. Following the official launching of the 40th anniversary in Paris earlier this year, Japan had its own launching ceremony with the presence of Madame Irina Bokova and Mr. Kishore Rao at Hiraizumi, where is one of our World Heritage site in the northeast of Japan on 30th February this year. In this context, Japan also hosted an international expert meeting in Tokyo to discuss the future of the convention. The outline of this fruitful meeting of the distinguished expert is handed out on your table for your reference. But this paper is only in English. I'm sorry for that. We didn't have enough time to translate it into French version. Madam Chair, in Kyoto, we will organize a main symposium inviting experts on cultural natural heritage and those who are deeply involved in World Heritage Convention from all over the world. In this symposium, we'd like to focus on reviewing the meaning of the convention now and into the future. And also, we'd like to discuss spirit of convention at its beginning and its achievement over the last 40 years. We really hope this symposium will bear a very fruitful outcome document at the end of these sessions. Furthermore, we we are organizing several experts meetings before and after this Kyoto event, including youth program. Just for information, please look at the handout on your table informing related anniversary events in Japan, and also a provisional program on registration and other information. And the website is now available, so please check on your personal computer. Okay. Finally, I wish to take this opportunity to invite all of you, state party, advisory bodies, and experts concerned to this closing event of 40th anniversary this year. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in Kyoto in November. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mexico, floor is yours.
Muchas gracias, señora presidenta. Antes que otra cosa, queremos felicitar, igual que todos, al gobierno de Japón por el gran trabajo que están realizando con motivo de los 40 años de la convención. Asimismo, queremos nosotros extender una cordial invitación a todos los miembros del comité, en virtud de que llevaremos a cabo del 18 al 20 de julio en la ciudad de Querétaro, Patrimonio Mundial, la reunión Patrimonio Mundial, Cultura y Desarrollo en América Latina y el Caribe, que abordará 4 temas específicos. Una mirada al futuro de los sitios culturales y naturales, qué se ha hecho hasta ahora y qué falta por hacer con los sitios Patrimonio Mundial, los desafíos en las buenas prácticas y la gestión, y finalmente el turismo, clave para el desarrollo sustentable. Nos acompañarán expertos internacionales de diversos estados partes de la convención, principalmente latinoamericanos y europeos, así como expertos del propio Centro de Patrimonio Mundial, con quien estamos organizando esta reunión, del ICOMOS, de IUCN, de ICROM, de World Monuments Fund y de la OMT. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Russian Federation, floor is yours.
Спасибо, уважаемая госпожа председатель. Мы, в свою очередь, также хотели бы поблагодарить госпожу Лужичич-Люгаси за представленный обстоятельный и подробный доклад о мерах в рамках празднования 40-летия Конвенции. Благодарим Японию за подробный анонс и информацию о проведенных и предстоящих мероприятиях. Вместе с тем мы хотели бы обратить внимание, что в перечне вышеупомянутых мероприятий выпали из поля зрения такие мероприятия, как молодежный форум в Краснодаре, который прошел с 30 мая по 20 июня, и видеопрезентацию которого мы с вами смотрели в первый день, насколько я понимаю, нам запомнился и очень понравился. И второе мероприятие – это молодежная международная модель Комитета всемирного наследия в Казани с 1 по 9 июля. Многие вчера запомнили телемост, работа идет там полным ходом в рамках, в духе конвенции, в рамках 40-летия, поэтому мы считаем необходимым исправить эту, очевидно, техническую ошибку и внести в перечень. Спасибо.
Спасибо большое. Индия. Excuse me, India, floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On behalf of the Government of India, we would like to thank Japan for the tremendous effort that they have put in to organizing the closing of the 40th year of this convention. And as always, they have been meticulous and hardworking in their approach. Japan has contributed a lot to heritage conservation in India, in some of our major World Heritage sites, and I think it is appropriate that the closing ceremony is being held out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We can go to the decision. Please, reporter, floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. The committee must decide on the draft decision 36-12D, which has been provided to you in the original version. It's composed of 5 paragraphs, and we have not received so far formal amendments, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Are any objections to adopt the decision 36-12D? I see no objection, so adopted. Thank you very much. And now we move to the major item of this day. It's budget, working group on the budget. Presentation of the final accounts of the World Heritage Fund for 2010-2011, the interim financial statement, and the state of implementation of the 2012-2013 budget. The document is WHC 12/36.com/15.ref, and this working group was chaired by Van Schalkwijk from the delegation of South Africa, and I would like first of all to pay tribute to the work of you personally, dear colleague, and for outstanding commitment of all this group. I know that this task was not easy one, and that you did spare any effort in the accomplishment of this work. So I understand that the draft decision is proposed by this working group, and this draft decision was distributed to you, and you have on your table. Now, please, sir, floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, and we appreciate your kind words. Indeed, the Budget Working Group, maybe just to sketch some background, the Budget Working Group was established as a consultative body last year, as per this committee's decision 12B. Item 15 was opened in the plenary on Monday, 25 June, and the working group was given the mandate by the committee to examine document WH 12/36.com/15rev and to work on the draft decision contained in it. The working group met from Tuesday 26 June till Tuesday 3 July, that's last night, during 10 sessions representing more than 12 hours of discussion. The session of the working group was attended by 18 states parties, among which 11 are members of the World Heritage Committee. Observers, the advisory bodies, and the Secretariat also participated. Madam Chairperson, the working group examined document 15rev in depth, and the discussions were extensive. The Secretariat and the advisory bodies were requested to provide their perspective on the budget situation, as well as to provide clarifications on a number of issues. Additional material was requested and provided by the Secretariat, such as comparisons between the approved program and budget and the revised budget proposal, staffing tables, and financial implications of the recommendations to documents 9A and 12A. The working group focused, amongst others, on the implementation of the committee's decision 35-15 taken at its 35th session, that's last year. The impact of the current shortfall in the budget on the financial situation of the World Heritage Center and the advisory bodies. The efforts made by the Secretariat to meet the challenges of the budgetary constraints. The options to ensure the sustainability of the World Heritage Fund. The increasing demand of the World Heritage Committee for more advisory and monitoring services, which has a substantial impact on the finances of the Center and the advisory bodies, while at the same time, contributions to the fund remain stable. The potential conflict of interest in cases where evaluation and monitoring missions would be financed by concerned state parties was also addressed, and the possibility of reducing the number of nomination dossiers to be reviewed. On the current situation regarding the shortfall of funds, it should be noted, Madam Chairperson, that the United States withholding of its assessed contributions to UNESCO has resulted in a budget shortfall of $1.4 million. In an effort to mitigate the effects of the situation, the Secretariat presented a proposed cut in the approved budget of 21.19%, which would mainly impact activities such as capacity building and retrospective statements of outstanding universal value. The working group extensively debated the situation and explored various options in terms of how funds could possibly be found to assist certain programs or activities, including the work of advisory bodies. However, in terms of the current budget limitations, it was not possible to make any meaningful changes to the proposals put forward by the Secretariat, and the working group therefore agreed to recommend to the committee that it adopts the revised budget of $5.2 million. On the long-term sustainability of the World Heritage Fund, the working group acknowledged the difficult situation of the fund, which I have to point out is unrelated to the United States withholding of its contributions, as well as the necessity to draw the committee's attention to the financial implications of the decisions it takes. In an effort to address this matter, the working group discussed the options for additional voluntary contributions to the World Heritage Fund, prepared by Professor Michael Turner. In total, 10 options were analyzed, which ranged from states parties doubling their assessed contributions, determining a minimum level of contribution, increasing contributions on the basis of the number of properties inscribed to the World Heritage List, to a combination of the various options. The link between contributions and the number of sites was highlighted in the group as important, since an increase in the number of sites generates an increased workload. The working group generally agreed that any formula decided should be simple so that it could be clearly conveyed and understood by states parties, and also encourage them to make voluntary contributions to the fund. Despite having fruitful and informative discussions on the various options, it wasn't possible to reach consensus on any of the particular options. The working group, however, agreed that the situation of the World Heritage Fund is not sustainable, and as a result decided to make a general appeal to states parties to make voluntary contributions to the fund. Madam Chairperson, the convention is almost universal, which means that there will be very few new states joining the convention, and contributions to the fund will therefore not increase any longer. The only way to ensure that the World Heritage Fund can keep up with the ever-increasing workload generated under the convention is by doing so on a voluntary basis, as the provisions of the convention related to assessed contributions do not allow for the rate of assessed contributions to be easily increased. It's therefore important, Madam Chairperson, that the committee and states parties take note of the tenuous financial state of the fund. The fund cannot sustain the increased activities approved each session if contributions to the fund do not increase. Without sounding alarmist, Madam Chairperson, it would be fair to say that a tipping point has been reached. I would like to draw the committee's attention to the draft decision before it and to highlight that it contains language that points to the real possibility that some of the decisions taken by the committee during this session may not take place due to a shortage of funds. It's therefore necessary for the committee to reflect on the financial implications related to its decisions at the time of adoption, and a proposal to this effect is made in the draft decision. Proposals are also included in this draft decision to refocus the budget on conservation and management of properties. In conclusion, Madam Chairperson, the draft decision proposed to the World Heritage Committee for adoption has been separated into 3 parts. Part 1 focusing on the current situation and proposing to adopt a revised budget of $5.2 million, representing a reduction of 21% in the budget. Part 1 also highlights the activities which may not be fully undertaken and the impact on international assistance in conservation and management. Part 2 highlights the concern of the budget reduction of UNESCO regular budget and notes the financial support provided by the Russian Federation and the UNESCO Director General for the statutory meetings, of which appreciation was expressed. Part 3 concerns the sustainability of the World Heritage Fund, noting that it will not increase significantly in future since the World Heritage Convention is almost universal, thus the urgent need to find a more sustainable solution. Last but not least, Madam Chairperson, I would like to convey my thanks to the committee members and states parties who offered up their lunch hours to participate in the meeting of the Budget Working Group. It's as a result of their support, hard work and cooperation, as well as going without lunch on a few occasions to finish our work, that we are able to have this decision. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to the Center for the support it provided to the Budget Group, in particular, Ms. Tanya Bezimensky, without whose assistance the Budget Group would not have been able to function so effectively. With these words, Madam Chairperson, and on behalf of the Budget Working Group, I would like to submit the draft decision you have in front of you for the committee's consideration and adoption. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. So floor is open. Germany, please take the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. First of all, I would like to thank all parties involved, and especially South Africa and also Mexico and others for their fantastic work in this working group. There was no easy discussions, but at the same time, I would like to send an alert to people. The way that the workload has increased, the way that the path of work becomes faster, all that is not new. We have to urgently look into the areas, because that is always left out, I think. It is mentioned now in this convention. And we can dream about having huge additional funds, but if we don't find them in the private sector, I'm not sure we will find them at all. So I think we have to adopt our work. I regretted that in the last month, means from the emergency funds were channeled into the cultural department, but they were not channeled to the World Heritage issues. These were excluded. I just see it was corrected then. Okay, it was the first time, at least when I was at U, I heard that. Okay, so I think we have to see how we get more efficient, how we get more cooperative, and how we can save money to keep up this good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mexico, floor is yours.
Muchas gracias, señora presidenta. Quisiera primero también rendir un reconocimiento y tributo al excelente trabajo de Sudáfrica, presidiendo una negociación y una discusión que no fue fácil, porque existen diferentes visiones sobre cómo deberíamos de abordar este tema tan difícil de la situación tan precaria que tiene ahora las finanzas del comité y del fondo especialmente. Quisiera nada más compartir una reflexión que emergió de estas discusiones y pedirles a todos los miembros del comité que tengan esto en cuenta cuando analicemos este tipo de resoluciones. Existen diferentes actividades y diferentes decisiones que se toman en el comité que no están previstas en el presupuesto. Cada vez que el comité toma decisiones, por ejemplo, de inscribir un sitio que no estaba planeado inscribir, existe una implicación financiera. Y esto va abonando a la situación que ya teníamos antes y que se ha acendrado en los últimos años por la carencia de recursos. Existe un dicho en inglés que reza, there's no such thing as a free lunch. O sea, nunca hay nada gratis, todo se tiene que pagar, todo tiene que provenir de las contribuciones de nuestros países y no es fácil tomar decisiones y prioridades cuando todos los representantes aquí tenemos que rendir cuentas a nuestros gobiernos sobre el eficiente y transparente, pero sobre todo racional manejo de recursos. Creo que esta resolución que se ha logrado hacer bajo el liderazgo del delegado de Sudáfrica es balanceada porque tiene muchos elementos que emergieron en las discusiones y presenta una visión bastante integral del tema. Por lo tanto, creo que puede satisfacer las inquietudes de muchas delegaciones. Gracias, señora presidenta.
Muchas gracias. France, floor is yours.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la Présidente. Moi aussi, je voudrais féliciter le président du groupe qui a travaillé sur le budget. Parler de travailler sur les finances n'est jamais facile, mais à l'heure de la pause déjeuner, c'est encore plus difficile. Bravo. Une petite remarque simplement, aucune objection de fond. Simplement, je voulais vous signaler que nous avions enlevé quelques petits problèmes de traduction que nous avons déjà signalés et que nous réglerons ultérieurement. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much. Algeria, floor is yours.
Merci Madame la Présidente. Spasiba. Je remercie l'Afrique du Sud qui a fait un très bon travail et je l'ai soutenu moralement. Je lui ai donné des idées d'ailleurs personnellement sur le problème du budget du fonds. La défaillance d'un État parti a causé un grand problème à l'UNESCO. Nous savons très bien de quoi il s'agit. L'Algérie a payé sa contribution statutaire normalement. Qu'est-ce que nous devons faire? Nous avons un faible budget. Il n'y a qu'une seule chose, c'est de demander aux pays du Sud de sauver ce fonds et d'apporter ce qu'on appelle les fonds en dépôt. Et c'est possible. Il y a des pays qui sont très généreux et je voudrais les remercier. Le Japon notamment. C'est donc une question importante, vitale, je dirais, pour l'avenir de la conservation et du maintien des biens. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much. Japan, floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Whereas previous speakers mentioned, the working group went through very difficult discussion throughout the last 10 days or so. And yes, the budget or financial situation is indeed very stunning. And I felt that we as a member states have to pay more attention to this important issue. This is a common issue. So, and I'd like to see that the member states together make effort to work forward to the solution or improvement in this situation. And at the same time, I have to extend my appreciation to the excellent chairmanship provided by the South African delegate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Senegal, floor is yours.
Merci Madame la Présidente. À mon tour de me joindre à tout le monde pour féliciter nos amis d'Afrique du Sud. C'est une très grande fierté pour nous qu'ils aient pu réaliser ce travail qui, pour l'essentiel, a rencontré une très large adhésion. Nous reconnaissons avec tout le monde que la situation est difficile. Il va falloir certainement que chacun fasse des sacrifices, y compris les moins riches. Mais je pense aussi qu'il faudrait qu'on ait peut-être en ligne de mire que cette situation est transitoire et que tôt ou tard, on va certainement sortir de cette situation et que les choses vont se normaliser. C'est pourquoi dans le corps de la discussion, je pense qu'il y a certains éléments de proposition peut-être qu'on devrait aussi articuler à la situation transitoire. Merci.
Thank you very much. Switzerland, floor is yours.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la Présidente. Je crois que la situation est extrêmement grave et d'un naturel très optimiste personnellement, j'ai de la peine à partager ce que vient de dire le délégué du Sénégal. Même si d'un point de vue financier strict, la situation pourrait, le cas échéant, se normaliser ou, comment dirais-je, ou s'améliorer, je ne pense pas que cela doive nous inciter à attendre. Au contraire, je pense que nous devons prendre le taureau par les cornes et que nous devons travailler maintenant, nous rendre compte des incidences de nos décisions et de nos recommandations qui ne font que accroître le poids du travail, tant pour le secrétariat que pour les organisations consultatives, que pour nos administrations et collectivités locales aussi. Je crois qu'il ne faut pas les oublier dans ce domaine. Nous devons donc veiller à avoir des décisions claires et précises en matière de priorisation de nos activités. Et je crois que le travail ou les travaux qui sont en chantier, que ce soit dans des domaines tels que la stratégie générale, que ce soit les discussions à l'occasion du 40e anniversaire de la Convention, discussion sur l'avenir de la Convention, je pense que nous devons saisir cette occasion maintenant, hic et nunc, pour que nous puissions offrir quelque chose de durable à la gestion de cette Convention. Sinon, la Convention va péricliter. J'en suis malheureusement persuadé. Il faut en tout cas accepter de faire des priorités. Nous l'avons dit d'ailleurs, le comité a dit que ce qui était important, c'était peut-être de mettre la priorité sur la conservation et la gestion. Eh bien, on doit en tirer des conséquences du côté des inscriptions. Et je crois qu'il faut avoir le courage d'être fort. Il en va de la crédibilité de la Convention. Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you very much. I see that Senegal wants to take the floor once more, please.
Oui, Madame la Présidente, je suis désolé de reprendre la parole parce que l'honorable représentant de la Suisse m'a fait dire ce que je n'ai pas dit. Quelqu'un m'a-t-il entendu dire qu'il faille attendre?
Thank you very much. I suppose that you privately can speak with each other and understand better. So, dear colleagues, I understood the draft decision proposed have been extensively discussed by the members of this working group and that a consensus of this matter have been reached. So, therefore, I would propose that this decision be adopted without. No, we had debate de facto, but not debate on the items of this decision. If you are not agree, we directly move to adopt the decision which is contained in the in the document 36-15. If there are no objections, so I suppose we consider this decision adopted. There is no objection, it is adopted. Thank you very much. So, dear colleagues, now we move to the item 16. We speak about other businesses when we can express maybe some thoughts about different matters concerning our work. But before I give you the floor, if you want to express something, I would like to tell you that before our meeting, our committee meeting, it was the first international NGO forum called Protection of the World Heritage Properties, which took place in St. Petersburg on the margins of our session from 22nd to 24th June last. I would like to inform the members of the committee that the NGO Forum adopted the resolution. The outcomes of this International NGO Forum present, in my view, some very interesting findings, such as the creation of global network of non-governmental actors called World Heritage Watch, and focusing its work on the protection of World Heritage properties. I think that there are some pragmatic reasons for us to welcome this very useful initiative coming from the community and the civil society activists, who are our recognized partners in the process of the implementation of World Heritage Committee. I don't propose that we have to make any decision on this because it's their own, let's say, problem if they want to organize this watch, but I would like to inform you, and maybe it is good initiative will be demonstrated in the next session, and they will meet every session of the committee. It's up to them. But I suppose that I have to inform you about this initiative. And now I would like to ask you, are there any other, problems, organizational things which you would like to express before we move to the other very important item? India, please, floor is yours.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry to take your time at this moment, but we would just like to draw attention to the presentation which ICOMOS had made at the beginning, in which it said that 48% of the World Heritage Sites are from a particular part of the world, and the pending applications of 48% continue to be from those parts of the world. Madam Chair, this is in the context of the dialogue on the role of the advisory bodies, and we would like to, in this context, offer that India would host a conference on the issue of visual integrity and in the context of the operational guidelines, for which we would be very happy to hold this before February 2013 within India, because we feel that this issue is very important. We need to be cautioned against a creeping formalism in our discussions, where the procedure has become more important than the integrity itself. And we have, in effect, developed a language of discourse which excludes a large majority of our members from participation in this process. So I think we need a greater dialogue within our community, both within civil society, as mostly represented by ICOMOS and IUCN, as well as among ourselves, as to where we are going and where we want to go, because there are particular cultural contexts within which we operate. The issue of referral and deferral, it is not merely an issue of merits or demerits. There are cultural contexts. They're viewed as a loss of face in many cases, and we have to be sensitive to these issues and not take merely a linear worldview in which natural beauty excludes man. We have sterile environments. I think the Japanese ambassador made a very pertinent comment that in Asia it is not possible to exclude people. And we have to relook at many of the issues which we are addressing. And in this context, again, I would like to be very happy to welcome, if you permit, we can work out the details with the World Heritage Center. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you very much. Germany, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I would like to wholeheartedly thank India for this initiative. I think this visibility issue is timely. We realized at several points. I don't see why there should be a difference between North and South, or old or young, or many or few. But it's an issue that has not set any standard criteria yet. So it becomes a bit unpredictable for some. So this is especially interest for those who come in with new sites, because they have to know what will be the obligations afterwards, I think. And we would love to participate in that one. I have good experts. The national beauty excludes men. I think this brings us exactly to the topic of sustainability. We have spoken about development a lot, but sustainability was left out by many. And it's a pressing issue, especially there where we have a high density of population, or where we have indigenous people who always lived in a certain area, and they have their traditional ways of sustainable living in this area. That is a second topic, I think, that we have to look into. But we have to also try not to throw out the child with the bathhouse, because it was always, everything on Earth was always linked to humanity. We have some sites where a human being may be totally detrimental, so it may be lost. And these are those that we have to definitely protect from humans. I think that's also part, and no matter whether that is in Asia or somewhere else. But I think these two topics are the ones that we have to discuss in the next year urgently, and maybe in the years to follow too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Serbia, floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We would like to express our deepest gratitude to the proposal of India, having in mind that during this session of the Committee of the World Heritage, all of us have faced some kind of problems concerning the concept, the idea, the problem of visual identity or visual impact. On the other hand, that is also important, as Madam Ambassador of Germany just pointed out, for the new inscription. And secondly, which is maybe more important, is the concept, the idea of the World Heritage Sites in the light of the sustainable development. We all have to have that in mind in order to avoid future misunderstandings between the state parties who are offering the inscription and the general assessment of the advisory bodies. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. South Africa.
Thank you, Madam Chair. South African delegation would like to welcome such an initiative by India. But, Madam Chair, perhaps on this whole issue of representativity of our regions, have we done an assessment of the potential spread to achieve representativity? What we mean, Madam Chair, the whole thing of heritage sites is linked to history, values, and pride. Is there a way, I know we have budget constraints, is there a way of an initiative of an overall global assessment? I don't know how expensive is this, Madam Chair, whereby you can have an understanding of this, so that when committee discusses nominations, we have that picture in mind. Another one, Madam Chair, of which I will call beneficiaries, especially the poor communities who pride themselves on these sites. Are there no constraints? It's linked to sustainability, Madam Chair, whereby if you list a site, the way as a committee we discuss this, it's like a disincentive to list a site because you are in trouble, you are constrained. This is an observation, Madam Chair, that in the last 5 meetings we've seen this, whereby many sites are discussed, but the discussion is more around contradiction between development and conservation. There's a constraint around coexistence. Therefore, since it's 40th anniversary of this convention, is one area we need to think about around sustainability and an incentive for nations to list sites in this committee. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Switzerland, floor is yours.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. J'aimerais à mon tour me faire l'expression de 2 ou 3 réflexions qui me sont venues au cours de cette session, si vous le permettez. Je pense qu'une des choses qui est essentielle, c'est que, et j'ai déjà dû le dire, je crois, lors de notre session de l'année dernière à l'UNESCO, c'est que nous revenions aux fondamentaux qui sont le fondement, en quelque sorte, de la Convention. Quand je parle des fondamentaux, je parle de l'esprit de la Convention, alors que demain, nous allons fêter son 40e anniversaire et que nous allons porter le regard, comme cela a été très bien exprimé par la délégation du Japon, vers l'avenir. Et dans ce sens-là, la proposition indienne me semble bienvenue, parce que parmi les fondamentaux, il y a l'intégrité, il y a l'authenticité, et il y a une discussion qui doit être menée toujours, car les membres du comité changent, car les problématiques que posent les biens à inscrire et inscrits se modifient également. Nous l'avons vu tragiquement ces derniers jours avec ce qui se passe au Mali, où nous avons été confrontés à quelque chose d'horrible et où le comité en tant que tel s'est vu interpellé, je dirais dans sa substance même. Lorsque nous parlons de revenir aux fondamentaux, Madame la Présidente, il faut bien se rendre compte d'une chose, c'est que nous devons apprendre à lire. Nous devons apprendre à lire et à comprendre la Convention, les objectifs qu'elle a, les procédures opérationnelles qui en découlent, les règlements, etc. Produire, à mon avis, de plus en plus de documents, de directives, ne sert pas à grand-chose, Madame la Présidente, si le comité, qui est l'organe de décision de la Convention, ne les fait pas siennes et les viole. Et là, il en va de la crédibilité et de la viabilité de notre organisation. Qui parle crédibilité doit se placer dans le cadre de la décision que nous avons prise l'an dernier à Paris et qui a été mise en œuvre pour la première fois ici, c'est-à-dire de donner une publicité plus grande à nos débats, ce qui d'un côté peut avoir un effet extrêmement bénéfique à condition que les États membres du comité se tiennent effectivement à ce que le public, les mass-médias aussi, attendent et que nous ne jouions pas avec le feu. Dans ce sens, il faudra développer à l'avenir, Madame la Présidente, un esprit de cohésion au sein de notre comité, qui seul, à mon sens, permettra de dégager une ligne claire et de renforcer justement cette crédibilité par la visibilité que nous voulons donner à notre action. Nous l'avons montré hier, par exemple, dans un cas, je le répète, malheureusement extrêmement douloureux. J'aimerais qu'on le montre plus souvent. Et c'est dans cet esprit qu'il faudra et qu'il faut continuer de développer le dialogue informel avec les organisations consultatives, avec le secrétariat, et cela à tous les niveaux d'experts, mais également sur le terrain, mais également dans le travail quotidien. Et là, je pense, comme dans toute situation difficile, les deux parties ou les trois parties ont une part de leur responsabilité. Je crois les organisations, consultatives ont la leur, nous le leur avons dit. Mais je crois que nous devons également regarder dans notre cuisine. Et c'est l'appel, le petit appel que j'aimerais lancer aujourd'hui, en vous remerciant, Madame la Présidente, pour tout ce que vous avez fait pour la réussite de cette session. Merci.
Thank you very much. Mexico, floor is yours.
Gracias, señora presidenta, y gracias a los colegas que me precedieron por llamar la atención a este tema que para México es de la más alta prioridad, que es darle a la Convención un cariz más balanceado en la expresión de lo que debe ser el patrimonio mundial y no énfasis regional en una u otra región. Este tema está en el centro de la estrategia global, pero también tiene que ver con el tema que discutíamos antes, que es el de la distribución de prioridades presupuestales, precisamente porque si no se aborda este tema de manera seria, las áreas que están en países que necesitan mayor apoyo de manera financiera pueden entrar en peligro más pronto. No nada más es por eso, sino también porque tenemos varias directrices, y ya mencioné la estrategia global, que establece una serie de prioridades que a nuestro juicio todavía podrían mejorarse en el momento en el que estamos tomando decisiones. Por lo tanto, invitamos al comité a tener esta reflexión continuamente, pero también al centro y a los órganos consultivos a que asesoren a los estados y que nos guíen de manera que podamos tener siempre la prioridad del balance y de lo que significa tener un enfoque mundial para que haya mayor representatividad de zonas y de tipos de sitios en la lista del patrimonio a proteger. Gracias, señora presidenta.
Thank you very much. France, floor is yours.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la Présidente. Moi aussi, je voulais remercier l'Inde pour sa proposition et je voulais répondre ou interroger très rapidement notre camarade suisse quand il nous dit retour aux fondamentaux. Bien évidemment, on a envie de le croire, mais je crois qu'il faut que nous soyons tous bien conscients, puisque nous allons fêter un 40e anniversaire, qu'en 40 ans, la planète a plus changé que depuis l'apparition de l'homme sur Terre. Donc ces fondamentaux, j'imagine qu'il ne va pas falloir qu'on soit trop crispé sur eux, puisqu'autrement les discussions seront très vite bloquées. Et je crois que ces discussions, elles vont être, dans l'avenir, on ne va pas les avoir maintenant, je vous rassure tout de suite, elles vont être beaucoup plus compliquées que ce qu'on peut l'imaginer. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much. Senegal, floor is yours.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. À mon tour, je me fais l'écho vraiment très favorable des propositions qui ont été faites par l'Inde, mais aussi par le Japon, l'Afrique du Sud et l'Allemagne. Je crois, Madame la Présidente, que notre convention elle repose sur un trépied. Et un trépied, c'est stable mais fragile. C'est bien sûr les États partis à la convention, c'est les organisations consultatives qui travaillent avec nous comme second trépied, et le troisième, peut-être l'un des plus importants, c'est le bien. Il faut qu'on parvienne à trouver un équilibre entre les propriétaires de la Convention, les organisations consultatives et les biens. Et la Convention, c'est une production sociale. Elle n'est pas immuable. Elle doit et elle va évoluer. Mais c'est peut-être s'il y a un dogme dans cette Convention autour duquel on est tous d'accord, c'est de tout faire pour préserver les valeurs universelles exceptionnelles. Pour les pays en développement, comme la plupart des pays africains, il est évident que l'aménagement du territoire est un impératif catégoriel autour duquel il ne peut pas y avoir de concession, sauf le dogme, c'est-à-dire la préservation des valeurs universelles exceptionnelles. C'est pourquoi les réflexions et les idées lancées ici par l'Inde et tous ceux qui ont suivi sont très très importantes pour nous. Il faudrait qu'elles soient à la hauteur de ce qui a été fait il y a quelques années autour de l'intégrité et de l'authenticité. Et je pense que si nous embarquons vraiment le fait que nous avons une production sociale qui va évoluer, je pense que notre intelligence collective nous permettra à chaque fois d'arriver aux solutions les plus appropriées pour préserver notre convention. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much. Mali, floor is yours.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Je voudrais abonder dans le même sens que Monsieur l'ambassadeur de la Suisse, qui a soulevé un point important. Il s'agit de la promotion de la Convention. Moi, j'allais parler même de valorisation de la Convention. Parce que, en parlant de cas des pays qui n'ont pas beaucoup de moyens, il est extrêmement important que cette convention soit promue davantage, que les gens apprécient. L'autre jour, notre ami du Sénégal parlait d'intraduisibilité du patrimoine. Le patrimoine mondial, de plus en plus, doit être apprécié localement, perçu localement de la façon dont nous pensons qu'il est utile, en faisant allusion à la valeur universelle exceptionnelle. Il y a des notions qu'on doit partager, qui vont permettre à nos décideurs de prendre cette dimension du patrimoine comme un élément fondamental du développement. On parle de développement culturel et du développement durable en parlant des trois piliers, le social, l'économique et l'environnemental. Et il manque un quatrième pilier, c'est la culture. Je crois qu'on doit continuer dans ce sens-là et je suis optimiste, malgré tous les problèmes qui existent, des crises, etc. Maintenant, des sites inscrits en Afrique sont fêtés. Et moi, je crois fondamentalement qu'on doit persévérer dans cette voie-là. C'est seulement en allant dans cette dynamique-là, en maintenant cette dynamique, qu'on pourrait atteindre des résultats vraiment soupçonnés. Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you very much. Germany, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and I apologize for taking the floor again. I think we have here two levels of discussion. One is on the basic principles, and I already spoke to that. The other is, and I think we all agree, we all want to have a more global list. We all want to have, easier access. We all want to have more developing countries sites in, to have more small island states sites in. I would like us to take one break for a minute to think about why is it that one part of the world or some countries have more than the others. And please understand that I'm saying this in all, I think we have to put it on the table instead of staying with cliches. You correct me, my analysis is it plays a role that in the so-called northern cultures, monuments play a greater role. We have this tradition of building. Maybe it was due to climate, building in stone. Other areas had the condition of building with other materials which didn't last so long, or they had also building in stone, and many changed governments and climatic problems. Secondly, we have more than 100 years of monument. May I? We have more than 100 years of monument protection laws, which many countries do not have, which lead to structures that are enabling countries to easier put something in. And I think that was raised, a topic that was raised by South Africa earlier in the discussion 2 days ago, where they said that these coordination with ministries, with local level and other levels, this is a point we have to work at together to maybe develop best practices or a handbook on how this might be structures or how some countries have done it. The South African example we discussed, which worked very well. Third, there is this, certainly financing is an issue. For that we have a fund which is not maybe large enough to help countries who are interested and need financing support to develop all these expensive analytical studies and scientific studies and so on. And then there is expertise. And there is the fact whether the people in a region are aware of the value of this World Heritage, so they are ready to go for it years after years with 3 changes in government, and they will not say that the government has not succeeded it after 2 years they didn't bring it in. All this, I think, are only little pieces, bits and pieces, which we have to discuss more detailed also. I can only invite at this point, if there's somebody who thinks he has something and he would like to have expertise that we may be able to provide, please do not hesitate to contact us. we will be very willing and try to see whatever we do to help. This is a tiny, it's not in the high level of discussion, but this is a tiny thing that I can offer right now. I can't offer, we can fund it all, but we will always try our best. So please don't hesitate. And I think that we should have a list of all the experts in the world, because with the experts also the list is imbalanced. There are so many experts in other regions that are not really the first draw always for e-commerce and others when there is analytical studies done, which sometimes need more cultural and regional background. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Colombia. Floor is yours.
Gracias, señora presidenta. Nos queremos unir a dar nuestro agradecimiento a Sudáfrica por todo su trabajo en el grupo de trabajo de presupuesto, igualmente el grupo de trabajo de guías operacionales. Nosotros creemos que hay que aprovechar esta crisis económica por la que está pasando UNESCO y por lo que está pasando este comité. Este es un alto en el camino donde tenemos que priorizar. Tenemos que, como lo hemos discutido, ver qué es lo que queremos hacer con este comité, con esta convención. Yo creo que quedó muy claro dentro de nuestras discusiones que la conservación es lo más importante, pero para poder hacer eso tenemos que tomar decisiones y estar convencidos que lo vamos a hacer. Tenemos que reflexionar y ser responsables con nuestras decisiones como miembros del comité. Yo creo que es muy claro que hay unos estándares en las guías operacionales que no debemos perder. Son unos estándares muy claros, tenemos que saber qué es lo que vamos a inscribir y cómo. Hay criterios, hay integridad, hay autenticidad, hay guías muy claras para seguir. Apreciamos la oferta de India de estudiar cuál es el impacto visual. Sin embargo, no podemos descarrilarnos de los objetivos de esta convención y del comité. Tenemos que igualmente tener en cuenta las expectativas de las comunidades al inscribir un sitio o comenzar, cuando comenzamos el proceso del expediente. Muchas veces eso nos lleva a presionar una inscripción que en algunos momentos no debería ser pertinente hacerla, puesto que después se encuentran problemas y por eso nos encontramos poniendo más y más sitios en la lista en peligro. Podríamos aprender igualmente de la Convención del 2003, donde se prioriza realmente los intereses de las comunidades. Y para terminar, quisiéramos igualmente agradecer todo lo que usted ha hecho por nosotros para que este comité funcione como lo ha hecho de una manera eficiente. Hemos terminado antes de tiempo y agradecerle a San Petersburgo. Gracias.
Thank you very much. Mali, you once more wants to take the floor, or take the floor.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Madame la Présidente, c'est juste pour apporter des compléments d'information. Madame la Présidente, au cours de cette session, il y a un élément fondamental qui a attiré notre attention. C'est l'insuffisance du dialogue. Comment renforcer le dialogue entre les États partis et les organisations consultatives? Ça a été dit ici. Et on sait qu'il y a des problèmes de finances. Mais je voudrais faire une proposition concrète, Madame la Présidente. Est-ce que dans la mise, parce que des États qui accueillent également des séances de formation, de renforcement des capacités et de renforcement du dialogue entre les organisations consultatives et les États partis ne peuvent pas être encouragés? Est-ce que les États partis ne pourraient pas recevoir ou bien organiser des formations pour pouvoir profiter et mettre à niveau un certain nombre d'éléments du comité, procéder à des mises à niveau, renforcement des capacités des membres du comité, renforcement du dialogue entre les comités et les organisations consultatives, des réunions ou bien des ateliers qui seraient reçus ou bien organisés par des États partis. C'est pour ça qu'il faut renforcer le dialogue entre les membres, les États, disons les membres du comité et les organisations consultatives. Parce que dans certains cas, on assiste même à une tension forte entre intervenants des membres du comité et les organisations consultatives. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to give the floor to Representative of Barbados. Please, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Just to
under this head, to add a little bit to the discourse, to remind the members of the committee that we had opened the dialogue on the issue of museums and World Heritage at Brasilia, and to ask to ensure that we do continue to follow up on this matter, where we are looking at museums as tools to assist in the recognition and appreciation of outstanding universal value of sites where they are located in association with these sites. I want to take the discourse a little further, however, and suggest that there, in terms of the information proposed by ICOMOS last evening, that we might look in different directions, that the notion of, or the idea of the museum, the library, the archive, may be some areas to explore very specifically in terms of looking at outstanding universal value, in that we could consider that there are monuments of this type created specifically for these purposes that would be recognized under selection criteria. So I would suggest that that might be an area where we could see some advancement. And it's not to say that there are not libraries and museums that are already on the World Heritage List, but simply because of their magnitude as buildings of a certain type. But I'm talking about the idea of the museum and the library expressed in a certain way. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Russian Federation, floor is yours.
Спасибо, госпожа председатель. Я поддерживаю многие высказывания. Мы поддерживаем, Российская Федерация, предложение Индии и ряда других государств. Мы считаем, что, конечно, вопросы универсальной ценности, целостности, критериев – это важнейшие вопросы. Я бы хотел сказать, что мы хотели бы отметить высокую работу наших консультативных органов, но вместе с тем мы хотели бы подчеркнуть, что нет ничего важнее работы самого комитета. Потому что за каждой делегацией, которая приезжает сюда, стоят национальные особенности этих народов, опыт их специалистов, консерваторов и архитекторов. Поэтому, мне кажется, неоднократно мы на этой сессии видели, как происходит объединение наших комитетов, когда происходит что-то неразумное, или поддержка, когда происходит что-то радостное, которое обогащает нашу конвенцию и наши действия. Поэтому мы еще раз подчеркиваем, что все-таки за решением комитета лежит та истина, которая возвращается назад в виде номинации и в виде информации нашим же народам и общественности всего мира. И хотели бы поблагодарить вас, госпожа председатель, за мудрость ведения этой сессии, за мудрость понимания людей, нас, членов комитета. Пожелать вам здоровья и дальнейшей работы. Спасибо.
I'm very touched to receive so good words from you. Thank you very much. Serbia. Serbia, floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Having in mind what has already been said by some delegations, the purpose of how we can spread the main idea of the World Heritage List, the sites of the outstanding universal value, in accordance with all that already has been said by Madam Bokova, having in mind the purpose of somehow popularization of the work of and aim of UNESCO, I would like to express my delegation, obviously, deepest gratitude and to congratulate you personally, Madam Chair, for the excellent idea of organizing the Youth Forum on the World Heritage, especially that short movie that we have seen on the working a workshop concerning the World Heritage in Water and whatever, and also concerning all other things that you launched within UNESCO. I think that it's maybe the best way to spread the idea of cultural and universal and outstanding values. Once again, in behalf of Serbian delegation, I would like to congratulate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My dear colleagues, we will have time. We have tomorrow, we have after tomorrow, we have opening ceremony. So I would not, but thank you very much, it's a joke. Please, Kenya, floor is yours.
Madam Chair, if you can still accept thanks, Kenya would also like to thank you for the wonderful work that you are doing. Now, in addition to that, we have observed and listened very carefully to the discussions, and we appreciate very much the work that the committee are doing. You've done fantastic work, and it has been in a very good atmosphere. However, we have a few observations based on the discussions that you've been having. The word dialogue has come now and again, but we still feel very strongly that there seems to be sort of a divergent, and we hope that this divergence between the advisory bodies and the state parties do not grow more than what we're observing. I think there's need for a common understanding. We don't know whether it's through seminars or through whatever means, but there is need really to come and start talking a common language. So the issue of dialogue, I think, is important. The issue of the North-South divide, which sometimes is true, sometimes may not be true, but we still feel that there is definitely a division, and I think that the committee may need to look at this. The division mostly is not only confined to the North, but I think different, probably even interests. And this, while this is normal, I think that there should be sometimes, there needs to be much more common voice, and I think that there is a need for reflection on that. On the issue of credibility, the convention definitely, Madam Chair, is a technical document, but the state parties are political. And so I think there is need to balance. There is no need to say we are only technical, we cannot deal with politics. I think there is need for that balance, and I think we need to develop that language of accepting that the true fact of the matter is that state parties are political, they have their interest, but how do we maintain that interest? How do we at least make sure that the state parties' interests are taken care of without overriding or overshadowing the convention? So I think the issue of balancing is very important. We also realize that there are a number of things that have been mentioned that have been passed. And I'll finish very quickly, Madam Chair. For example, I can give two examples. One is the issue of listing in danger, particularly on conflict and post-conflict areas. This is an area that we would have liked the committee to look at very critically, because we are not sure whether the way we are listing these particular sites, particularly in areas of danger, of conflict, with sites that suffer from technical issues, is really the same, is really the good thing. We continue coming now and again, giving the state parties recommendations, telling these state parties, you must do this and this and this, otherwise the site will remain in danger, when we know very well that they completely have no control over these things. I think UNESCO itself, plus the state parties, need to take this responsibility, especially in the area of conflict and post-conflict areas. The last one is on the issue of traditional methods of management. Madam Chair, we from the continent of Africa really would like this to be addressed. And because we have listened to, committee after committee talking about this, and then we still go back. Now we are talking about, because we have monuments in the north, and because we have legislation in the north, that is why we are okay, and you should not blame us for that. I think that is the wrong way. We really need to address this issue, and part of that was through the global strategy. If the global strategy has failed, maybe the committee needs to look at another alternative addressing this, but not saying that because of historical, reasons, some part will always be ahead of us. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. My dear colleagues, you asked me to follow the rules of procedure. Rules of procedure give to member states 3 minutes and to to members of the committee 3 minutes, not members of the committee 2 minutes maximum. But it seems to me that it's very, very important discussion and I would not like to interrupt. Please excuse me, first I give the floor to Algeria. It seems to me that he's... Yes, please.
Spasiba, merci, Madame la Présidente. Vous m'avez oublié pendant une demi-heure, là. C'est pas grave. Non, moi, ce que je voulais dire, c'est tout simplement que c'est un sujet qui me passionne, que j'adore beaucoup. Surtout cette question d'équilibre entre le Nord et le Sud. Et je n'aime pas cette expression Nord-Sud. J'ai horreur de ça. Je pense que l'humanité est entière. Elle est belle, elle est magnifique. Nous appartenons tous à des enfants, enfin nous sommes tous des enfants d'Abraham. Les siècles ont changé, les révolutions, les guerres, tout ça. D'ailleurs, les guerres, il n'y a eu que des guerres d'ailleurs. Ça n'a pas arrêté. Il n'y a pas de paix. Après une guerre, il y a une paix, une autre paix, puis une autre guerre. La guerre entre les grands, entre eux, la guerre contre les petits, c'est jamais terminé. C'est pour ça que l'UNESCO a été créée dans l'utopie des hommes qui croyaient à la paix. Nous y croyons toujours. Juste deux ou trois petites remarques sur la question de l'équilibre. Je voudrais parler au nom de mon pays, l'Algérie que je représente. Mon pays, qui a fait beaucoup dans le domaine de la conservation, dans le respect de la Convention de 72, est très engagé, notamment, non seulement au niveau national, mais au niveau aussi africain. J'ai juste deux ou trois idées à vous exprimer sur ce débat qui me passionne d'ailleurs, que j'adore. C'est que moi, aborder la question du rôle des organisations consultatives et du respect de la Convention est un sujet très, très, très intéressant. La position de l'Algérie est la suivante. Il faut respecter la qualité au détriment de la quantité. Cette idée de penser que le Nord a plus que le Sud n'est pas valable. Mais ce que je vous propose, ce que l'Algérie propose, a toujours proposé, a été toujours aux côtés aussi bien de l'Allemagne, de la Suisse, de la France, c'est une coopération Nord-Sud. Nous avons une expertise. Nous sommes membres du Fonds africain pour le patrimoine mondial. Nous contribuons avec de l'argent. Nous apportons une aide. Les pays africains disent qu'ils n'ont pas assez de sites. Pourquoi? Tout simplement, ce n'est pas parce que leur valeur universelle exceptionnelle n'est pas reconnue, mais tout simplement parce qu'ils n'ont pas fait de bons dossiers. Et pour faire de bons dossiers, il faut des experts, il faut les payer. Pour cela, l'Algérie tend la main à tous les pays du Nord, je n'aime pas ce mot-là, à tous nos partenaires pour une coopération et pour faire une relation triangulaire avec l'Afrique pour pouvoir présenter des dossiers sérieux. Merci, Madame.
Thank you very much. And the last speaker, representative of ISESCO. Please, floor is yours.
حضرة السيدة الرئيسة المحترمة، حضرات السيدات والسادة الأفاضل الممثلين للجنة التراث العالمي، الحضور الكريم، أشكرك سيدتي الرئيسة على إتاحة فرصة الكلام. محدثتكم حياة القرميزي، مديرة برنامج حماية التراث بالمنظمة العربية للتربية والثقافة والعلوم الأليكسو. أود في البداية نيابة عن سعادة السيد محمد العزيز بن عاشور المدير العام للأليكسو الذي لم يتمكن من الحضور بسبب التزامات أخرى حضور اجتماعكم هذا الموقر، أن أتوجه أولا بخالص عبارات الشكر إلى فيدرالية روسيا على كرم الضيافة وحسن الاستقبال والتنظيم، وأن أهنئ لجنتكم الموقرة على ما حققته من نجاح باهر خلال هذه الدورة في تناول جميع الملفات التي عرضت عليها بمهنية فائقة وبكل رحابة صدر، خدمة للتراث العالمي وتكريسا لما ورد في اتفاقية سنة 1972 التي تلتزم منظمتنا التزاما كاملا بكل بنودها ومبادئها وما تصبو إلى تحقيقه من أهداف، وتعلن باسم مديرها العام ضم صوتها إلى اليونسكو والأيسيسكو وجميع الدول الأطراف في اتفاقية سنة 72 استنكارا للتعديات على الممتلكات الثقافية المسجلة على قائمة التراث العالمي بتومبكتو بدولة مالي، وهو موقف مبدئي تتخذه منظمتنا في إطار ما توليه من عناية فائقة لحماية التراث ضد كل ما من شأنه أن يتلفه، باعتباره تراثا إنسانيا ملكا وحقا مقدسا لجميع أجيال هذه المعمورة. ونعلن على استعدادنا للتعاون في مجالات تخصصنا مع كل مبادرة هادفة إلى إنقاذ هذا التراث العالمي. أجدد لكم شكري على إتاحتكم لهذه الفرصة والمجال للتعبير عن موقف الأليكسو. شكرا.
Thank you very much. Dear colleagues, it seems to me that the discussion was very, very useful because it once more stressed how much this problem is important for us. I would not say that we are in big, let's say, crisis, it may be too strong word, no, but in some difficulty because we have a lot of sites, we have limited financing, we have financial problems, and even we see some, no, I would say contradictions, yes, in nomination, in relationship with advisory bodies, and all this once more makes me sure that we have to organize, maybe start with informal group which, you know, unite all these problems, because budgetary problem of equilibrium of sites which we approve between like our colleague which don't like, and I don't like this south north too, how we can help different countries to improve their dossier. So all these are very linked. So we have somehow to study these problems in general and maybe work on this further. Thank you very much. Once more, it was very important. And now we move to the item 17, election of the Bureau of 37th session of the World Heritage Committee, which is very important question. And it is now time for us to elect a new chairperson of the World Heritage Committee and to also proceed to the election of the vice chairpersons and of the rapporteur of the 37th session of the World Heritage Committee in 2013. So I would like to remind you the chairperson is elected in person and rapporteur too, so we need to know the names of these people. So, Japan, floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Delegation of Japan would like to propose Cambodia as chairperson for the 37th World Heritage Committee. Thank you.
You have to give us the name, not country.
Oh, excuse me.
I know the name, I can help you. It's Sokan.
Yeah.
Yes, Vice Prime Minister of Cambodia. We all know him very well. So, delegation of France, floor is yours.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la Présidente. Tout le monde sait que nous avons choisi le Cambodge pour la tenue de la 37e session du Comité du patrimoine mondial. En conséquence, donc, il me semble normal, le Cambodge présidera notre comité entre juillet 2012 et juillet 2013. Pour assurer cette présidence, le Premier ministre du gouvernement royal, Samdech Techo Han Sen, a choisi son Excellence Sok Han, vice-premier ministre. Historien, géographe et sociologue de par ses études universitaires, administrateur, gestionnaire et diplomate tant par sa formation que par les hautes fonctions qu'il a pu occuper, le docteur Sok Han a des liens anciens et multiples avec le patrimoine culturel. De fait, il préside depuis de longues années l'établissement public qui gère les 40 000 hectares du site d'Angkor, inscrit sur la liste du patrimoine mondial en 1992. En outre, le docteur Sok Han préside depuis 1997 la Commission nationale pour l'UNESCO. À ce titre, il supervise la préparation de tous les dossiers et les rapports qui concernent aussi bien Angkor que Preah Vihear, et il coordonne les programmes ministériels de formation, de législation, de protection et d'action communautaire dans les sites et les zones sauvegardées. Enfin, sa présidence active aux sessions techniques et plénières du Comité international de coordination, le fameux CIC, pour Angkor, et aux sessions de notre comité depuis de longues années, lui a permis d'être au fait, je crois, de tous les règlements, de la procédure et de la conduite de débat. Nous lui adressons donc notre vœu unanime de plein succès pour cette nouvelle charge. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much. Mexico, floor is yours.
Muchas gracias, señora presidenta. Pues mi delegación ha recibido con mucho gusto esta noticia y queremos apoyar a Camboya para ser la sede del próximo comité. Creemos que es muy conveniente, como ya lo ha dicho la delegación de Francia. Estamos seguros de que se hará un muy buen papel. El año pasado Camboya albergó la 10ª reunión de las partes de la Convención contra las Minas Terrestres Antipersonal e hizo un papel sensacional, entonces estamos seguros de que así será la nueva reunión del comité. Gracias, señora presidenta.
Thank you very much. Dear colleagues, we can congratulate Mr. Sok Han be elected as a chairperson of the next World Heritage Committee. Now we have, excuse me, do you have something to, what, election is done? Is it necessary to, once more, to return to this? Please, Germany, please.
Thank you. Just one sentence. J'aimerais féliciter le Cambodge et nous tous parce que nous avons un collègue qui est extrêmement bien, alors il va le faire et ça va être un honneur pour toute la région, notamment parce qu'Angkor Wat même est un site qui est gouverné par plusieurs pays ensemble sous le Cambodge, mais avec d'autres partenaires et je trouve que ça va être un honneur pour toute la région et le Cambodge notamment. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much. Algeria, do you want to take the floor? I saw you.
Oui, Madame la Présidente. Mon cher ami, pays frère, le Cambodge, je vous félicite pour accueillir la prochaine session du Comité du patrimoine mondial. Nos relations sont historiques, fraternelles, et je voudrais vous exprimer mes félicitations. À cette occasion, je voudrais annoncer qu'après le Cambodge, l'Algérie souhaite accueillir la prochaine session. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much. I suppose that we take note of this very good proposal. Thank you very much, Algeria. So now we will have to elect 5 vice chairpersons of the committee and the rapporteur. I would remind you that the rapporteur has to be elected in personal capacity, and 5 vice chairpersons from the regions. So I see United Arab Emirates, floor is yours.
شكرا السيد الرئيسة. المجموعة العربية اتفقت على الجزائر نائبا للرئيس للدورة القادمة، ومن باب التقدير لدور المقرر الحالية لو كان الأمر بأيدينا لطلبنا باستمرارها مقررة. شكرا.
Thank you very much. Qatar.
شكرا سيدي الرئيسة. نحن ندعم ترشيح دولة جمهورية الجزائر كنائب للرئيس كما اقترحت دولة الإمارات الشقيقة. شكرا.
Thank you very much. I would like the groups, Mali, please, floor is yours, because I have some kind of
Merci,
order.
Madame la Présidente. Le groupe Afrique, après consultation, propose l'État parti du Sénégal à une vice-présidence. Monsieur Bokoum, s'il vous plaît.
Mexico, floor is yours.
Gracias, señora presidenta. Quisiéramos proponer como representante de los países latinoamericanos en el comité a Colombia para ocupar la vicepresidencia el próximo periodo. Gracias.
Thank you very much. Russian Federation.
Спасибо, уважаемая госпожа председатель. Наша делегация хотела бы предложить, чтобы на пост вице-председателя от нашей группы была рассмотрена кандидатура Республики Сербии. И одновременно мы хотели бы предложить госпожу Ясну Зырнович, генерального секретаря Сербии при ЮНЕСКО, на пост докладчика. Спасибо.
Thank you very much. Who else? Germany. I see that.
I have the honor and the pleasure to suggest Switzerland as vice chair for Group 1.
Thank you very much. So, dear colleagues, now we have vice chairperson. It's Algeria, Senegal, Colombia, Serbia, and Switzerland.
Not Serbia. Serbia is the rapporteur.
Please, Russian Federation, you propose Serbia like vice president and vice chairperson and rapporteur.
Да. Мы хотели бы ее предложить и в качестве заместителя председателя, как страну, и госпожу Ясну Зырнович в качестве докладчика.
Thank you very much. Malaysia, floor is yours.
That's why if you follow the scenario, it is.
Why you didn't prepare?
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. I believe we have one Vice Chairperson for the region of Asia and Pacific. We are proud to nominate Thailand as the one of the Vice Chairperson of the 37th session of World Heritage Committee 2003. 2013. Thank you very much.
So it means that we have for now proposed 6 candidates from 5 seats. Yes, Serbia. So for the moment, we have 6 proposals for 5 seats. So I would like to ask Serbia, because everybody agrees that Serbia can be very good rapporteur. So please, floor is yours.
First of all, allow me on behalf of Serbian delegation to thank those delegations who proposed my country to be among respectable vice chairmen, vice presidents. But in order to make it easier, we have no problem to accept with great pleasure and honor the function or the difficult role of the rapporteur, and we thank you once again.
Switzerland, floor is yours. Switzerland, floor is yours.
Je voulais simplement rappeler l'article 12.1 du règlement intérieur qui disait que le bureau du comité comprend le président, 5 vice-présidents et un rapporteur. Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you very much. Serbia, please repeat who will be the rapporteur, because rapporteur is in personal capacity.
Yes, Madam Chairperson, I know that I can't promise definitively because most probably it will be Jasna Zernovic.
Yeah, she was proposed.
As it is already proposed, but
Russia proposed it.
she's diplomat and everybody around me knows what does it mean.
You have to elect by name.
But, you know, we have now to, if we vote, you see, we have to be sure that it will be her.
In this case, let's put back Serbia among vice presidents.
Go to the legal advisor, please.
And it will
Legal advisor, please. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It might be useful if I explain a bit the background for the Bureau. The terms, as Switzerland has pointed out in Rules 12 and 13, point out that there's 1 chairperson, 5 vice chairpersons, and a rapporteur. The chairperson traditionally is, of course, from the host country. The 5 vice chairpersons are from the 5 geographic regions other than that of the chairperson, and the rapporteur is selected in a personal capacity for his or her skills in doing the report and in keeping records, etc. So it's very important that the committee picks someone who is certain to be able to come and who they know is able to fulfill the functions in person. That is the reason for the 1, 5, and 1 structure of the Bureau. Thank you.
Cambodia, please, floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For Asia Pacific region, Cambodia has the pleasure to support the proposal of Malaysia, Thailand as Vice President. During the past year and today, the government of the two countries are working together to overcome the recent difficulties. There are rebuilding closer relations and good cooperation between the two countries. We look forward to working closely together in the Bureau of the Committee, and we urge the support of all colleagues for this nomination. Thank you.
United Arab Emirates, please, floor is yours.
شكرا سيدة الرئيسة. بعد سماع المستشار القانوني، هل هذا يعني نرجع للمقترح الاتحاد الروسي أن صربيا نائبة للرئيس والمقررة القديرة تكون بصفتها الشخصية؟
Thank you very much. So, another question to Serbia. What about the rapporteur?
If I remember well, it is the same question. What about the rapporteur? In personal capacity. We, as I said, are grateful for both proposals to be vice president or to be rapporteur. If Switzerland, proposed by Germany, would like to undertake the function of rapporteur, maybe it will be easier to decide on in personal capacity. But if not, okay, Jasna Crnović will be.
Thank you very much, Serbia. Thank you very much. You facilitate the process. Thank you. So, dear colleagues, I would like to say that now we elected all vice chairs and rapporteur. So now I would like to ask delegation of Cambodia to take the floor. Please, floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madame la Présidente, Madame la Présidente, chers collègues, au nom de Son Excellence Sok-An, vice-premier ministre du Cambodge et prochain président du Comité du patrimoine mondial, il m'est agréable d'exprimer notre reconnaissance au Comité du patrimoine mondial qui a bien voulu accepter notre invitation d'accueillir la 37e session du Comité en 2013. Le Royaume du Cambodge, comme vous le savez, est depuis novembre 1981 un État partie à la Convention portant protection du patrimoine mondial. Membre actif du comité depuis 2009, il en a assuré l'une des vice-présidences réservées pour l'Asie-Pacifique. Permettez-moi de rappeler que deux biens culturels khmer sont inscrits sur la liste, à savoir le parc archéologique et éco-historique d'Angkor et le temple de Père Vihir. De nombreux autres monuments et sites de valeur exceptionnelle figurent dans notre liste indicative. Le gouvernement royal du Cambodge a pris toutes les dispositions nécessaires pour accomplir la noble mission qui nous a confié notre comité. Toutes les facilités et les ressources adéquates sont prêtes afin de réserver le meilleur accueil aux participants. Nous mettrons tout en œuvre pour que la session se déroule dans une atmosphère de richesse culturelle et de modernité affirmée. 2013 is a particularly appropriate year for Cambodia to host the World Heritage Committee, as it is the 20th century anniversary of the International Coordinating Committee for the Safeguarding and Development of the Historic Site of Angkor, ICC Angkor, which was established following the Tokyo International Conference in 1993. ICC Angkor has been recognized by UNESCO as a model for cultural site preservation and development, coordinating the activities of 64 projects by 22 institutions from 16 countries and 4 continents. May I emphasize that Angkor is a complex site of more than 100 ancient temples. The site is also living heritage, home to many villagers, most of whom still carry out their traditional lifestyle today. The working sessions of the committee will be held in our historical capital city of Phnom Penh, such as the conversions of the mighty Mekong and Tonle Sap rivers, the symbolic center of the kingdom where tradition and modernity meet. Numerous hotels, shops, and restaurants are conveniently located close to the riverside and near the conference venue. We plan also to include in the program of the session a study visit to the temples of Angkor and Siem Reap, as well as performances of Cambodian intangible heritage. We look forward to welcoming you next year with our renowned Cambodian hospitality. Madame la Présidente, permettez-moi, pour finir, de vous exprimer personnellement et au nom de la délégation du Cambodge nos chaleureuses félicitations. C'est grâce à votre cordiale fermeté cette session a connu un grand succès. La remarquable organisation des séances et l'accueil assuré par les autorités de la Fédération de Russie et de la ville de Saint-Pétersbourg ont contribué à rendre notre séjour inoubliable. Je vous remercie. Madam Chair, please allow me to present a short video to introduce the next host country, the Kingdom of Cambodia.
Renowned for her glorious history, Cambodia is home to thousands of temples built during the Khmer Empire over 1,000 years ago. Alongside these magnificent ancient temples, Cambodia is also proud of its exceptional cultural and natural resources and vibrant living culture. Siem Reap is the location of the Angkor Archaeological Park, registered on the World Heritage List in 1992, and the hub of tourism in the region. The Angkor Park covers an area of 401 square kilometers and was the capital of the Khmer Empire from the 9th to the 15th centuries. Some 2,000 distinctively rendered Apsara carvings adorn the walls, and they represent some of the finest examples of Apsara carvings from the Angkorian era. Bayon was the Jayavarman VII state temple, and in many ways represents the pinnacle of his massive building campaign. Not far from Siem Reap, the Temple of Preah is situated on the edge of the Dong Rai Range in Preah Province, 547 meters above the Cambodian plain and about 150 kilometers north of Angkor Archaeological Park. The site is exceptional for the quality of its architecture and adaptation to both the natural environment and the religious functions of the temple. It is also an outstanding masterpiece of Khmer architecture in terms of plan, decoration, and relationship to the spectacular landscape. In 2008, this ancient temple was inscribed on the World Heritage List under Criteria 1, that Preah Vihear is an outstanding masterpiece of Khmer architecture. It is very pure, both in plan and in the detail of its decoration. Besides tangible cultural properties, Cambodia is also rich in living arts. The Khmer classical dance, or Royal Ballet of Cambodia, is a form of Cambodian dance, originally performed only for royalty. It was included on the representative list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity in 2003. Shadow theatre, or Sabaik Thom, is another form of Khmer intangible heritage, listed on the representative list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity in 2005. Immediately after the Tokyo International Conference on Angkor in 1993, the International Coordinating Committee for the Safeguarding and Development of the Historic Site of Angkor, ICC Angkor, was created, co-chaired by France and Japan, in order to carry out research, restoration, conservation, and development projects in the Angkor Archaeological Park, in keeping with World Heritage criteria. Numerous projects have been carried out, and ICC Angkor has been recognized by UNESCO as a model for cultural site development. The Kingdom of Cambodia is known worldwide for its natural richness, including waterfalls, lakes, forests, mountains, beaches. The Great Lake, due to its identification as a biodiversity hotspot and home to numerous flagship and endangered species, was designated as the Tonle Sap Biosphere Reserve by UNESCO in 2001.
Cambodia has hosted many large international conferences in its modern, well-equipped conference centers with a wide range of nearby hotels. Direct air flight reach many cities in Southeast and East Asia with good connection to all continents. It would be our honor to host the 37th session of the World Heritage Committee in 2013, the 20th anniversary of the establishment of the ICC Angkor.
Thank you very much for your excellent presentation, and once more convey our warmest, I would like to express from all of us, warmest congratulations to His Excellency, Mr. Sok Khan, with his election, and let's congratulate him for for this achievement. We all are really looking forward to go to your country. And thank you very much once more. Thank you.
I will convey your nice words to you, to Dr. Sok Khan, and we thank you so much. And thanks also the committee for our chairmanship. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we move to the last item of our agenda for today. We will return to some items 16. So item number 18, provisional agenda of the 37th session of the World Heritage Committee 2013, which will take in Cambodia. Please, Mr. Rao, floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item, which is contained in document 12/36.com/18, has been distributed to all of you for your consideration and essentially captures the discussion that has taken place and the need to discuss various items at the forthcoming session, the 37th session in Phnom Penh. I will just briefly take you through the document, Madam Chair. The first three items are the traditional items: opening of the session, admission of observers, and adoption of agenda and timetable. This will be followed by the report of the rapporteur of this session. Madam Beatriz Hernandez will make that presentation at the next session. And then this will be followed by a series of reports from the center on the activities that it has carried out, from the advisory bodies, from various thematic programs, and we have also included a report on the celebration of the 40th anniversary events, because the event, the anniversary would have closed with the Kyoto event, and then we will present a final report on all the activities that have taken place around the world. There will also be a report on the Category 2 centers, which are regionally represented. There was a suggestion that the report of the Category 2 centers could perhaps be combined with the World Heritage Global Capacity Building Strategy, but that is for your consideration whether that combination should be done, considering the fact that some of the Category 2 centers do more than just capacity building. We then have the items on state of conservation, both of sites on the danger list and on the World Heritage list. The item on nomination, starting with the tentative lists and adoption of the statements of OUV, clarifications of boundaries, and obviously the inscription of new sites on the World Heritage list. In the global strategy, we will present to you the follow-up and progress with the implementation of the recommendations of the external auditor on the global strategy and the PACT initiative. You would recall, Madam Chair, that there will be a meeting in January to specifically discuss the recommendations relating to the partnership initiative, and we will bring you an update from that reflection. The progress report on the implementation of the upstream process in each of the 10 pilot sites will also be presented as part of the global strategy. And like I mentioned momentarily ago, the follow-up to the capacity building strategy. Periodic reports will be the final report from the Latin America and Caribbean region. This year you had the final report from the Asia Pacific region. Next year it will be the Latin American and Caribbean region. And then progress reports from the Europe and North America region, and the other follow-up from the Africa and Arab regions. In the working methods and tools, there are 3 items that we have proposed. There were suggestions to change some of the rules of procedure, so we have inserted an item concerning the rules of procedure. There are also some residual items remaining in the revision of operational guidelines, and we will be presenting a draft of the policy guidelines that we have discussed in the last few days. There could be a suggestion, because these will require working groups to do their work during the committee session, and it might become quite heavy in terms of the participation by various delegations. So perhaps the committee may wish to consider having one working group dealing with both the rules of procedure and the operational guidelines. Then there will be financial matters dealing with the international assistance requests. We will report on the execution of the budget of the current biennium, that is 2012 and 2013. as well as present to you proposals for the budget for the next biennium, 2014 and 15. And like we just did, Madam Chair, we'll have the election of the new Bureau and present the provisional agenda for the 38th session. In case the committee decides to have another session of the committee together with the General Assembly next year, we will also present to you a provisional agenda for that third session. Of course, we did mention to you that we will present a feasibility study on the possibility of organizing that third session, which is primarily linked to the availability of financial resources. So that decision could be taken at the next session. We will also present the provisional agenda for the 19th General Assembly, because 2013 is the year for the General Assembly of States Parties, which will be organized during the General Conference of UNESCO. So that, Madam Chair, is a quick outline of the provisional agenda, which is there for the consideration of the committee. And in the draft decision, the committee would have to decide also the dates of the next session, which we will obviously look to the delegate of Cambodia to advise the committee on. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Dear colleagues, can you give us the provisional dates? I mean, Cambodia, but it's provisional. Then we can precise the dates of the committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the time being, we are looking at the 17 to 27 of June 2013. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So it seems to me we can agree, like provisional time, it's 17-27 June next year. Do you have any amendments or objections concerning the provisional agenda of the next session? Yes, Switzerland, please, floor is yours.
Merci Madame la Présidente. Pas un amendement, mais une question au secrétariat qui a préparé un ordre du jour extrêmement complet et qui reflète beaucoup de nos discussions. Je me demande au fond pourquoi il n'y a pas de mention spécifique d'un point, s'il y a lieu, je ne sais pas, relatif au plan d'action stratégique sur le futur de la Convention. Je crois que nous avons aussi beaucoup parlé de cela, comme nous avons parlé des recommandations, comme nous avons parlé des orientations, et je me demande s'il n'y aurait pas lieu, là, d'ajouter quelque chose. Mais c'est uniquement une question, Madame la Présidente. Merci.
Mr. Rao, please take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had mentioned that we are presenting the follow-up. There are three items essentially under the future of the convention. One is, of course, the implementation plan for the global strategy that was adopted, then the upstream process and working methods. On upstream processes, we are presenting it under the item of global strategy. And on the working methods, we are presenting to you the possible changes to the rules of procedures and operational guidelines under item 11 and 12 and 13. So that is why we are sort of trying to mainstream those items into the traditional items of the agenda. But should the committee so desire, we can certainly have a separate item dealing with the future of the convention, specifically the implementation plan for the global strategy that was adopted by the General Assembly. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. So we can now adopt the provisional agenda, and I suppose that member states will look very carefully later on, and maybe we will make the other suggestions. It's in our hands to change the agenda. So are there any objections? We can adopt the decision 36-18. Adopted. So our today meeting is over, but before we leave the room, I would like to consult with you. So tomorrow we have a day when the Secretariat has to prepare all the decisions for adoption. And you can enjoy, you know, St. Petersburg a little bit. Yes. Then we will, 16, we have to adopt the decision. And at 6 o'clock we have closure, you know, ceremony, which it will be the concert, the dinner, here in Tavrichesky. So may I suggest that maybe we will meet at 3 o'clock tomorrow, after tomorrow, 16, not in the morning, then return here once more. What do you think? For adoption, it's okay. Thank you very much. So at 3 sharp, 16, we start our session. And before we leave the room, I would like to remind you that 7th in the morning, government of Tatarstan sent here the plane specially to pick our members of the committee to Kazan for, they will return you here 9th of July. Participate in this closure of this youth forum and to show you a little bit the world heritage in Tatarstan. So we need only from you your number of your passport, nothing more. So everything will be paid by government of Tatarstan. So we only have now 4 countries who wanted to go there. So please, if somebody else wants and have the possibility, if it's necessary to change the flight in 9th, we can help you. We have focal point Volkov Konstantin, or yes, please, Russian delegation. Yes, Volkov Konstantin, who is focal point for this, and please connect with him, and we will be very glad if members of the committee and IUCN, ICOMOS, yes, you are welcome to, of course, ICROM. Yes, thank you very much. So, bon courage, and tomorrow, good day. Enjoy a little bit of St. Petersburg beauties. Thank you very much. The session is over.